Hi and welcome to another game video, and in today's video I'm taking a look at the latest firmware update for the Anbernic RG35XX H. I'm sure this is available for other models, but that's the one I've got here. So I am taking a look at 1.1.9, which was released on the 23rd of December 2024, and I've had my Anbernic for about 8 months. Not upgraded the firmware since I bought it, so whatever it came with I did quite enjoy. And I'm just going to take a quick look at what is different in 1.1.9. So the major difference is you've got this UI has changed, so it's got a more sleeker interface. I mean, it's pretty much the same. They just changed the icons and color scheme, but it does look a lot better. There aren't many notes, sort of changelog notes. You've got updated PSP performance. There's a new thing for it's like a Wily, some sort of Chinese YouTube client. I think if you go into apps, you'll see it there. There is also a PDF reader. One new feature is that you can now use this as a Wi-Fi hotspot. But in terms of emulation, its PSP performance has been updated, and so has Pico 8. So it performs pretty much as it should do. I will note that upgrading the firmware on one of these is not easy. It's not as simple as just running an update and it just updating everything. You have to reflash the SD card, which if you've got 2 SD cards in, I always tend to keep my system on one and my ROMs and games on the other, so that I can mess around with the UI or the OS if I need to. So just be warned, if you do want to upgrade it, you have to reflash the SD card, and if your ROMs and games are on that SD card, you will lose them. So let's just take a quick look. So you can see that the user interface has got this nice new sort of slick look, and I really do like it. But performance is just as good as it was before. If we just take a look at some Game Boy Color, which obviously will always run decent because it's Game Boy Color. I actually love this for playing Game Boy Color games and Game Boy games on, because you get that lovely bright screen. So no issues there. And if we take, let's just exit out of that, and we take a look at PSP, because that's the one that's had a big performance boost. Once we get out of it, there we go. And you can either sort of play PSP in the game room, or you can go into the RetroArch and do it in there. But let's have a look here. So let's take a look at Burnout Dominator. So obviously PSP performance was good on this before. You do have this, well, the PSP has a widescreen, so things do look a little squished. I'm not sure if you could change that somewhere in the setting to give a different aspect ratio. But in terms of performance, I hadn't had many issues. But that is one of the things that's been updated in this firmware, is PSP performance. Which is always good to see. So as you can see, it just it does perform well. So we just come out of that. The one thing I did want to check is Sega Saturn, because this thing can emulate Sega Saturn, but I've never gotten it to work on previous firmware. And it isn't available in the game room. So you have to go into the RetroArch and find it in there. Right, there it is. The only game I've got on here is FIFA, and for some reason there seems to be lots of them, but if we try and load that, Before I would get the Saturn splash screen, and now I'm getting nothing at all. So that's going to be something I have to look into and have another tweak, because Saturn emulation is a little difficult. Yeah, that just hangs that there. But in terms of the updates and the UI, 1.1.9 does look really decent. And if you can, if you want to update it, like I say, you got to flash it. You need to pop the SD card into a laptop, download a very big image file, and flash it with some kind of image flashing software, depending on what system you're on. I run Linux, so I tried Etcher and that worked fine. But yeah, that's just a quick update for what the 1.1.9 firmware looks like. I mean, I do love the new look. It looks great. It's got more of a consistent look. And that is pretty much it. As you can see, let's look at the system information. I am running 1.1.9, and yeah, for the Anbernic RG35XX H. Enjoy.